Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Hey everyone, my name is Gayatri Muslimah, and today I want to talk about something that's been on my mind since I watched Quentin Tarantino's movie entitled Inglourious Basterds. So, for you guys who aren't familiar with this movie, Inglourious Basterds is a 2009 movie directed by Quentin Tarantino that takes place during World War II in Nazi-occupied Europe. But this is not your typical war movie. Tarantino creates what we call a revisionist war movie, meaning he takes historical events and completely reimagines them with fictional revenge stories. The movie follows several storylines, such as there is a group of American Jewish soldiers called the Bastards who hunt and kill Nazis, and there is Shosanna, a Jewish woman who escaped a massacre and now owns a cinema in Paris under a fake identity. What makes this movie unique is Tarantino's approach. It's not really about big battle scenes or traditional war action. Instead, it's built on tension, featuring multilingual dialogue where characters switch between English, French, and German, and on these incredible long and suspenseful interrogation scenes. And here's what really impressed me. This movie made me feel kind of uncomfortable in a specific way. Not because of the violence itself, but because of the tension, the endless fear in every conversation, the way language becomes a weapon, the way certain characters are always performing, always hiding. It made me think, who gets to speak freely in this movie? And more importantly, who is forced into silence? To explore this movie deeper, I'm using the work of post-colonial theorist Gayatri Chakravorty Spivak and her concept of the Subaltern. But before we get into the main discussion, who exactly is Gayatri Chakravorty Spivak? So, Gayatri Chakravorty Spivak is an Indian scholar who wrote the iconic essay in 1988 called Can the Subaltern Speak? In it, she examines how marginalized people, particularly colonized people, women, and those at the bottom of social hierarchies, are silenced by dominant power structures. The term subaltern originally comes from Italian Marxist Antonio Gramsci, but Spivak expanded it to discuss how these groups are excluded from representation and discourse. The subaltern is a group of people who are unable to speak up within the structures of power. It's not just that they are ignored, it's that the very structures of knowledge, language, and representation are designed in ways that make it impossible for their voices to be heard completely. Instead, other people with more power speak for them, often misrepresenting or completely erasing their actual experiences and perspectives. Spivak calls this as epistemic violence, which means violence done through knowledge systems. When histories are written without including certain voices, when narratives are told that erase the experiences of the marginalized, when dominant groups claim to represent the oppressed without actually listening to them, that is epistemic violence. Why apply this to a Tarantino revenge movie? Because once you look at Inglourious Basterds through this perspective, you realize it's not just a fun fictional history. It's actually a movie that shows exactly what Spivak is talking about. How marginalized people are silenced, how their suffering gets exploited, and how even well-intentioned revenge can reinforce that silencing rather than breaking it. So, let's dive into three main examples from the movie that shows the subaltern condition in action. The opening scene is one of the most brilliant examples of epistemic violence I've ever seen on movie. Colonel Hans Landa arrives at a French farmer's house to hunt for Jews, and right away we can see language as power.
Hans Landa.
Que puis-je faire pour vous?
J'espérais que vous m'inviteriez à entrer chez vous afin que nous puissions avoir une discussion.
Certainement. Après vous.
If a rat were to walk in here right now as I'm talking, would you greet it with a source of your delicious milk?
Probably not.
I didn't think so.
Landa speaks French and then shifting to English and shifting again to German fluently. He controls the conversation completely. He is polite, he uses genuine smiles, and he even asks permission to smoke his pipe. But underneath that politeness is absolute terror. And here's the key: while Landa and the farmer talk above, the Dreyfus family is hiding beneath the wooden floorboards. They are literally beneath the conversation. They cannot speak. They cannot represent themselves. They exist only as rumors, as Landa says. I love rumors. Facts can be so misleading, where rumors, true or false, are often revealing.
Only rumors.
I love rumors. Facts can be so misleading, where rumors, true or false, are often revealing.
This is Spivak's Subaltern in its purest form. The Jews beneath the floor exist only in the discourse of others, never as speaking subjects with their own voices. And when Landa orders his soldier to shoot through the floorboards, the Subaltern is physically killed before they can ever speak. The fact that only Shosanna escapes sets up our next point about her characters. Shosanna survives, but she cannot truly live as herself. She has to become Emmanuelle Mimi, a French cinema owner. She's doubly marginalized as a Jewish woman hiding in plain sight in Nazi-occupied France. When the Nazi war hero Friedrich Zoller approaches her romantically, she has to perform a role. She cannot speak her truth, that she is Jewish, that she watched her family die, that she hates everything he represents. Every conversation is a performance of survival. Even her iconic act of revenge, burning down the cinema filled with Nazi leadership while projecting her face onto the screen, is problematic through Spivak's perspective.
My name is Shosanna Dreyfus, and this is the face of Jewish vengeance.
Yes, she finally speaks. She declares, "This is the face of Jewish vengeance." But here's the thing, she can only communicate by dying. Her voice can only be heard after her death. She gains speech by removing herself completely from existence. Well, this raises Spivak's central question. If the Subaltern can only speak through death or complete elimination from the discourse, have they truly spoken? Has the dominating structure just absorbed and ignored their resistance? I find this both empowering and deeply tragic. Shosanna gets her revenge, but she confirms that under occupation, there is no space for the Subaltern to speak and survive. Now, let's talk about the bastards themselves. They seem like the heroes, right?
We in the killing Nazi business, and cousin, businesses are booming.
Oh yeah.
That leaves two ways we can play this out. Either kill you, or let you go.
But here's where Spivak's theory gets really interesting. The bastards are mostly composed of American soldiers. They position themselves as representatives of Jewish revenge, but they are speaking for the Subaltern, not with them. The actual Subaltern, the millions of Jews who died in concentration camps, were displaced and suffered, they did not speak in this movie. Armed soldiers with power and authority use violence on their behalf. And then the movie goes full alternate history. Hitler and the Nazi leadership were killed in the cinema. It's satisfying to watch, I won't lie, but it's also a complete fiction that distances the stories even further from actual survivor voices and testimonies. Tarantino, as a Western movie maker, creates a revenge story that appeals to our desire for justice, but in doing so, he does exactly what Spivak warned against, speaking for Subaltern rather than creating space for them to speak. The film transforms historical trauma into entertainment. It replaces real testimonies with spectacular violence. Inglourious Basterds is a masterpiece of filmmaking, no doubt. It's tense, it's entertaining, and yes, watching Nazis get what they deserve feels good. But through Spivak's perspective, we see how the movie shows the very problem it might seem to be solving. The Subaltern cannot speak, they are literally silenced in the opening scene. Shosanna can only speak through death, and the bastards speak for victims rather than creating space for actual voices. The main lesson from Spivak is this: representation is not the same as voice. Just because someone is represented doesn't mean they are actually speaking or being heard. So, Inglourious Basterds is a powerful movie, but it's also a reminder that even well-intentioned stories can reinforce the very silences they claim to break. And I think that's something we need to keep in mind whenever we consume media about marginalized communities. Well, I think that's all from me. Thank you for watching, and I hope you guys get some meaningful insight from this video. So see you next time. Wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Ooh, that's a bingo. Is that the way you say it? That's a bingo.
You just say bingo.
Bingo! How fun!